Hello everyone, Michaela here, Cinematic Stitches here on YouTube, and welcome to my Flosstube channel all about cross stitch. I guess I talk about some other things every once in a while, but it is mainly a cross stitch channel. All right, so I've got a couple things to go over today. I actually didn't get a whole ton of stitching done in the past couple weeks. Things have been a bit weird, but we'll get into that. Yeah, I figured we could just dive on into things. I wanted to start this video first off, thanking a couple people. A few people have shouted me out. Sorry, my cat is like messing around with a bag back there. Sir? I try to have complete silence for my videos, and this is the respect I get. Husker? He's sprinting around right now. I'm just gonna... Hang on one sec. Okay, someone's hyper. Someone's hyper right now. Why are you hyper? Why are you hyper? Say hi to everybody. Oh, you big beast. Anyway, I wanted to start this video with a couple thank yous. A few people have shouted me out over the past couple weeks. And I really appreciate that, you know, you like my channel enough to mention me and even recommend other people check me out. So the first person I want to thank, she actually did this a while ago, and I think I had meant to mention this in another video and I just completely blanked, but Julian Stitches recommended me, I think a couple videos ago to her followers. So huge thank you, Julie. Julie, I love your videos. You're just so chill to hang out with. I just gotta say that. I love putting them on and just sort of, you know, I watch a lot of Flosstube at work. Like, not actively, I kind of have it going in the background while I'm doing my stuff, but it's nice to have a soothing voice talking about fun stuff, and I can look over every once in a while and see a cute project. So thank you, Julie. I'd also like to thank Michelle Bendy Stitchy, who shouted me out a couple weeks ago on one of her videos and recommended her followers check me out. So thank you so much. If you came here from Michelle's channel, welcome. Happy to have you. And I'd also like to thank Elizabeth Savory. Is that how you say your last name? Savory Stitching? Or Savory Sewing, I think is what you've called your Flosstube channel. I'll tag Elizabeth below. But yeah, thanks for mentioning me. Elizabeth just started doing Flosstube. I think she's on her third video now. I might be getting that incorrect, but I've been enjoying her videos as well. So right back at you. Go check her out. All right. Sorry, I feel a little thrown because of my cat's insanity, but I think he's calmed down now. He's in one of his boxes. We're the kind of people who will just like save garbage for our cat. So he's been like living in a Coke flat, like a 12, what is it? A 12 pack? No, 24. I think it's like a 24 flat of Coke cans you can get at Costco. And yeah, we just keep those so he can sit in them. And that's what he's doing right now. My sweet son. Anyway, let's actually talk about stitching and not like what my cat is up to. All right. As I said, I really didn't get up to too much stitching in the past 3 weeks. My whole schedule has kind of been like blown up. A few weeks ago, my husband got COVID and thankfully, like, he found out that he had been exposed pretty quickly. So if I can avoid it, I will. So I left the house. I feel bad. Left him to fend for himself. I gave him groceries, you know, he was good. I was providing from afar. But I stayed at my parents' place for a few nights and then spent most of my time with my sister. So I was in her house for just over a week and had my schedule switched up because I was going to work really early with her, and usually I'm like I don't get up early. Like I'm a late riser. I like to stay up late. I don't like waking up before 8. It's not for me. I can do it. I just like, that's not the lifestyle I'm going for, is all I'm trying to say. This is why I work in video games. Like, you know, core hours start at 10. I'm good with that. I can start earlier if I want, but yeah. Anyway, regardless, I didn't really have a lot of time to stitch. I was cooking dinner with her. We were hanging out. It was really nice. And by the time I sat down to stitch, I was so exhausted because I was waking up like at 6 a.m. every day, which is not my norm. But it was fine. It was fine. I am so grateful that she let me stay at her place, and I had like a lot of fun. But yeah, I just did not get a lot done, which was like a little annoying for me because I had my goals. But you know what? It's fine. We just go with the flow. It is what it is, right? So first off, I'm going to show you a very pathetic start, but it's a start nonetheless. So this is for the Stitchy for Witchy hashtag, which is a stitch along being put on by a bunch of other floss tubers for the Witchy Stitcher. I started All Treats, No Tricks, which is a kit I purchased from the Witchy Stitcher store. I do believe she's just selling this pattern as is. I think she's just selling the pattern as well, but she also has kits. I don't know if there's any in stock at the moment, but I got the restock of it. It is a collaboration with Fox and Rabbit and Cottage. Yep, Cottage Garden Threads. It's gonna look like that. It's super cute. You get a 28 count piece of fossil from the kit. That's a Fox and Rabbit linen. Here, I don't even know. Is this right way up? I don't know. So here is my start. If you can call it that. Oh yeah. What do we got? Three rows? 4 rows? I'm killing it. I'm just killing it. Anyway, I did this. I had meant to start on time. I think this was supposed to start on the 12th. It was a Saturday. Maybe the 18th. Where's my book of days? It actually doesn't matter. But it started on a Saturday a couple weeks back. No, it was definitely on the 12th because I know because I was supposed to go camping that weekend and that just did not happen. But anyway, I started this much later in the evening than I had intended. But you know what? It's a start. I can tell it's going to be cute. I love the variegation of this floss. Look at that. Cottage garden? Cottage garden threads coming through with the variegation. Looking very, very cute. So anyway, it's this guy's pants is what I'm working on. So yeah, that was it's a very small start, but it still counts. And we're just going to be picking this up again in October for Spooky Stitching Month. But for now, it shall remain 4 very sad lines. Okay. I did work on a couple other things. What do I got here? Halloween and Hawkrun Hollow. I'm going to have to edit the hell out of this video. I'm like feeling very like today. I've been feeling very like for the last 3 weeks. So it's fine. I'm sure we'll come back down to earth at some point. Anyway, I was stitching on Halloween at Hawkrun Hollow. So this was one of my whip go calls for August. It was to stitch half a block. That did not happen. These things are huge. But I feel like I got an all right amount of progress on it. I'm going to have to be stitching this more because technically I missed another whip go call for this piece that asked me to work on a half a block earlier this year. So basically by the end of this year, I need to have 2 full blocks of Halloween at Hawkrun Hollow finished. I've got 1 block mostly done and then the second one has started now. So for those unfamiliar, this is what Halloween at Hawkrun Hollow looks like. It is gorgeous. Tons and tons of people have stitched this. Pam at Just Keep Stitching is stitching it right now, and she's actually quite far along. I believe she just finished the coffins. Well, not just, but like the most recent time she picked it up, she was working on this lower quadrant here, the coffins, which I believe is a full coverage block. Nearly, it's a nearly full coverage block. I dread this one. That is completely full coverage. That's like the final block in the set. I'm like, ha, that's gonna take a while. It'll be fine. I love working on this, I gotta say. It's so much fun. Okay, so I finished, mostly finished. I don't have the webs yet, or the little legs on the spider or anything. I mostly finished this in the spring, and I'm starting to work on these like spooky trees in the graveyard. And I will show you what that looks like. So I'm stitching this on a 32 count light mocha Belfast linen. I don't actually know the maker. I just picked it up. Oh, there's still a needle on here. That's bad. I usually put these away. Oh well. So here it is. Halloween at Hawkrun Hollow. Yeah, sorry, I just got this fabric at a needlework store in Edmonton that no longer exists. But there she is. So this is the block I worked on earlier in the spring, and this is the one I was working on now. So I've got a couple birds. I've started the outline of the block and started on the spooky tree. Well, one of them anyway. I think there's a couple spooky trees in here. But anyway, I'm happy with that, with how that's coming along. Yeah, so I'm stitching this just with DMC. I do believe they provide a needlepoint silk conversion, but you're gonna be buying a lot of silk if you do this. This thing is gonna be absolutely massive. It being on 32 count, I've said this before, but like, look at the size of my fabric. It's not gonna fill all of this, but like, I think I've got some fairly generous borders here. And I think there's gonna be a bit of extra at the bottom, but like, holy hell, it's gonna be huge. I can't wait to finish it. Years from now, I can't wait to finish it. But anyway, it's looking super cool now. I'm loving it. Stoked to get those 2 blocks done by the end of the year. The next piece I worked on was the Wizard's Inventory Sal by Sewing Starfish. This is a stitch along. I am not keeping up with it. I'm just sort of picking at it as I go. But I started the first motif. Actually this morning, they released the 3rd and 4th motifs for this piece. And it is looking super cute. So this is what the piece looks like so far. It's a mystery Sal. She's been like revealing new patterns each week, or new portions of the pattern each week. So the first motif was this dragon, then we had a unicorn, and today are these grimoires and like quill and ink pot with our buddy the wizard, who I cannot wait to stitch there. I like the sleeves. I think Cam the stitcher said like she just went in on that sleeve immediately because of the, well, maybe not immediately, but had to get the little it's like a gecko or a salamander. Had to get him done. I gotta say, the salamander is what really turned me onto this. I'm like, wow, he's got like a lizard on his sleeve and a little spider hanging from his hat. So I can't wait to get over there. I did not center start. I very rarely center start because like I don't want to say it's laziness. I think it's like a fear of cutting my fabric incorrectly and like running out of room. So I usually have just like a big piece of fabric and I start on the edge. And then once I'm done kind of the outline and I'm feeling safe about cutting, then I'll cut. But we're on the corner. So this is what I've been doing. I've got the runes done. I had that done earlier. Oh, I'll show you what it looked like previously. This is what it looked like previously. It was just like the runes and the purple outline. But now we're adding the dragon. And the dragon's looking pretty sick. He doesn't have his teeth yet. He doesn't have any fire, but it's gonna look awesome. I love dragons. So yeah, slowly picking at this is another thing that I will not be keeping up with, but that is a-okay in my books. I'm stitching this on a 28 count Mystic from Picture This Plus, which is such a gorgeous fabric. Like, this is looking so nice on this. I will say the fabric is a little difficult to stitch on. It's quite dark. It's really tight for like a 28 count, which I think is pretty common for Picture This Plus, actually. Like, darker linens are pretty, like, the weave is tight. So actually identifying where you need to put the needle is like, has sometimes been a bit of a challenge, but we're doing okay. So anyway, that's the Wizards inventory sale. If you like fantasy, I highly suggest signing up for it. It is so much fun. I'm loving it. And I'm just like, I can't get over this bag. I got this from Jasmine Custom Bags. I showed this before, but like, really, it's so cute. Look at these babies. Look at the baby monsters. Oh, adorbs. And the inside? Skulls. And oh, my floss. All right. Final thing I've been working on this month. Yes, that's right. I only had 3 whips. Kind of shocking for me because I feel like I jump between projects quite a bit. So final whip I worked on since my last floss tube was the Dark Queen of the Earth. I have not touched this project in several months. I don't want to say I lost steam on it. I was not a fan of the faces that were released. I think like the elf one is my favorite of the bunch. But I was sort of at a crossroads of like, okay, well, what am I going to do to make this something I'm going to like, you know? And Can the Stitcher recently did an absolutely incredible recharting of the Dark Queen's face. It's what did she do? Hers is basically just like an ox skull instead of an actual face. It looks so cool. Definitely check out her channel. So anyway, that inspired me. I have an idea of what I want to do with my queen now. Now it's going to be a ways before I actually get to her face because I'll show you where I am. I am like way far behind, but it's fine. It's fine. I actually really enjoy stitching on this project. So I'll show you the part I'm at. This is not the full queen. Like the full queen is totally released, but this is the section of the pattern I'm currently working on. So I'm working down here in all this greenery. And this is a picture of where I was at last time. And here's where I'm at now. So I only worked on her for a couple days, but I was able to fill in more green. So I did this greenery here and I went all the way up with it. This is going to be a flower. This is going to be like a log with a mushroom on it. Yeah, looking cute. Well, we should give YouTube a chance to give me a nice profile picture. Profile picture, whatever. Video cover is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I love working on this project and I'm more excited to work on it now that I know what I want to do. I don't know if what I want to do is going to turn out because it's going to rely on me being able to like rechart the head in a way that makes sense, but I think I can do it. I think I can do it. Anyway, those are my whips. Let me just look at my list to make sure I'm on track. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we did that. Oh yes, sorry. I'm stitching my Dark Queen, which is from Autumn Lane Stitchery. I'm stitching my Dark Queen on 32 Gilded Oak from Under the Sea Fabrics. That was one of the 2 fabric options for this queen when it was released as a pack, and I just like bought the whole kit. So I got the beads and everything. But yeah, so loving the queen, that's going good. Let's talk about plans. So today is September 1st. I am going with the theme of Sampler September for this month. So I have a number of samplers that I want to touch. Later today, I have a few plans this afternoon. I'm seeing Barbie again. I am like, this is like apparently my Barbie uniform. I'm wearing my like, oh man, look at these overalls. Anyway, I'll just kick the camera too while I'm at it. Why not? Okay, so I'm wearing these because it's Barbie Day. Gotta do it. I'm finally taking my husband to go see it. He's gonna love it. I don't know if he'll love it, but I think he'll have fun. Okay, so after Barbie, when I get home, I am going to be starting September's Revenge by Maximum Cross Stitch. There is I think it's like kind of a big start along or sal that's being put on by Evertotes. They announced it a few months ago and I bought the big package they had at the time. So that included a project bag. Look at that project bag. That's cute. And in it came the pattern. So this is what I'm going to be starting later today. I think this looks so cool. From Maximum Cross Stitch, September's Revenge. Look at that. Oh my God, and I love this. Look, she put a picture of her cat on the back. Ellen, that's so cool. Amazing. So anyway, super stoked to start this. It's gonna look amazing. I love how like the flowers are just exploding out of this house. Very cool. And there's a bird stealing a pumpkin. Gotta love it. So, feeling very September. We're gonna be starting that. I got all the Roxy Flossco flosses, threw them in this bag. Ooh, Lord, they came with the kit, basically. I'll just show you the bag. So that's exciting. And I actually already had this. They do not give you fabric when you purchase the kit, but they suggested, I think they suggested panettone, which I actually have. Yeah, I had a 32 count panettone. The linen size should work perfectly for this project. I'm gonna like quadruple check before I start throwing stitches down, but that should work out perfectly. And I think it's gonna look fabulous. Okay, so September's Revenge is the first sampler of Sampler September I'm working on. That's gonna be my new start later today. I also, in the first half of the month, I want to spend some time with The Birdman Cometh, because that looks super cool. I haven't touched that in a month or two. And I also want to work on another Maximum Cross Stitch piece. There Is Always Room. I really love this piece so much. It's so much fun. Last time I worked on it, I finished the like the cat and the dog up here. So I'm just gonna continue working on those motifs. And that'll be great. So those are the samplers I have for the first half of the month. I'll be filming another Flosstube like midway through September or so, but in case I, for some reason, don't get to it, I also want to work on this sampler. This is probably going to be more towards the end based on my schedule, but that's the Richest Season of the Soul. It was my, when did I start this? I think I started this shortly after Canadian Thanksgiving. But yeah, I love it. So those are the 4 samplers I want to be working on this month. I also have my Whip Go calls. I need to finish the final room of the chopping mall. So this is the chopping mall pattern that I'm working on. I need to do the final room that is like the cafeteria in the bottom left corner. Or bottom right corner. Yes, bottom right corner. And I also have 5 more days on Cabin Fever this month, which is this Dimensions kit. Ooh, that's a lot of reflection. So this is the final time this pattern will be called this month, which I'm happy about. I've definitely like fixed most of my woes with this. I still don't love stitching on it, but if I stitch on it, you know, 20 days a year, I can handle that. I can handle it. And I don't like giving things up. So I don't hate it enough to do that. And I know it's going to be beautiful when I'm done. So it's hard not to stop when you have, you know, you've got a good start on something, right? And the final one, I'm going to have another new start. And I'm actually going to be starting at September 7th. I'm starting the Giallo Thriller Collection from Dee's 20 Stitches and Uncanny Kari on Dario Argento's birthday, which is September 7th. So that is coming up. This is the Giallo Thriller, oh my, the Thriller Collection. So I think this came out like a year ago, maybe more, I don't know. I think about a year ago. I'm gonna be working on one of the smalls. I think I'll start on Don't Look. I absolutely love this collection. So for those who don't know, Giallo is a type of movie. Well, it got its name from a genre of book that was like very popular in Italy. Giallo means yellow, and these books were all like kind of psychological thriller, like crime novels with horror components usually. The books had yellow covers, so that's why they were called giallo, which is yellow. And then they started making movies. Like, giallo films are very, you know you're watching a giallo film when you're watching one. It's like very specific. Like they mix, like it's a crime thriller. There's usually some sort of psychological elements. They're usually slasher elements as well. Like it's like a mysterious killer who, you know, is stalking people, and you only find out who he or she is at the end of the film. There are a lot of great giallo movies. I'm probably going to be watching one of my favorite Argento movies, which is Deep Red, on the 7th while I stitch this. I love Deep Red. Tenebrae is really good as well. But yeah, Argento is like, he doesn't just do giallo, he does like horror as well and a few other, I think he's done other like non-genre movies, but he mostly works in genre. He's the director of Suspiria, the original Suspiria. If you haven't seen it, check that one out. That is not a giallo film. That is just like a straight horror and it is so good. It's so gorgeous. I love Argento's films. Oh my God, we're going on a tangent. I love his movies because he has such an eye for color. Suspiria is like entirely like red. Like there are these crazy like red, blue lighting like throughout the whole thing. It looks absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, Deep Red, which is, I would say that's probably his most famous giallo film, is also very striking with its use of color. So I'm stoked to watch it again. And I'm going to be stitching on that while I do it. Anyway, I think those are all my plans. Yeah, those are all my plans. I will very quickly go through some haul. I got a couple things. Okay, so a couple months ago, I made a purchase on 123 Stitch, and they sent me the wrong thing. And instead of, like I emailed them, I'm like, oh, I got the wrong thing. Like, do you want me to send it back? They're like, no, you keep it, but we'll send you the thing you originally ordered when it comes back in stock. And it came. It's just something small, but it's this Krampus scissor fob. I love him. Look at him. Oh my God. Krampus is such a freak, y'all. I love him. So anyway, I'm gonna put him on one of my scissors. Anyway, that's fun. That's from the Primitive Hair. Super cute. I also got my fabric order in from Mystic Fabrics. So I'm part of the Fabric of the Month Club. I get it shipped out to me every 2 months. So I have July and August here now. So July's fabric, you know what, I'll open it so we can actually get a proper look. July's fabric is called Cobblestone. Very pretty. Beautiful. Yep, love that. And then August, this is a really unique color. It's called Yarros, and it's like a like three colors of dye all mixed together. I can see like putting like a fancy lady on this. Maybe this would work for Nightingale, although the blues might not. There's some blues on here that it might not work out, but look at that. Isn't it beautiful? So absolutely stunning. So anyway, I love this. So always so excited to receive those. Mystic Fabrics is just fabulous. Like the linen is really nice to work with. The dyes always look stunning. I'm a big fan. What can I say? Okay, what else do I have? Oh right. Misty at Mystic Fabrics always throws in something like really cute. So she put in these cute cat stickers. I think I dropped one of them. Where'd it go? Did you fall? Oh, I don't know where the other one went. It drifted somewhere on my couch, but there's one of the cats. He's so cute. Okay, and then finally, this was like an impulse buy. Ah! So last year I ordered the like super cheap Hirschner's Christmas pattern books. I think they were like $5. So I ordered those, and of course signed me up for their catalog. So I get their catalog every once in a while, and I saw that this was like on sale, and I'm like, oh my God, I need it. Halloween Village plastic canvas kit. There's two, so I got this one in like the add-on or whatever. That and this. I love Christmas villages, and the fact that I could like stitch my own Halloween village. Don't know when I'll do it, but comes with all the stuff you need. Yeah, super cute. It's gonna look great. Okay, I also bought a couple patterns. So as I mentioned, it was #Stitchy for Witchy back in August, and I bought a couple of her patterns. I already own quite a few of them, but I got some that I don't currently own. So I bought Coffin Break, so cute. Good Morning. I think this is called Death Has Come to Your Little Town. Yep, Death Has Come to Your Little Town. Summer Sucks. This is a recent release. It's very, very cute. And Sweet Dreams, which is also great. I love Nightmare on Elm Street. So that's Freddy Krueger's hand. And yeah, that was it. 5 patterns, all very cute. Excited to stitch them whenever. That'll be great. Okay, I am going to show you my quilt before I move into what I have been reading, watching, and playing. If you are not interested in the rest of this, like all the cross stitch stuff has now been completed. Thank you for hanging around. If you were just here for the cross stitch, like this video. If you're new here, subscribe to me. I feel like this is like maybe a little more scattered video than usual, but we're just gonna roll with it. It's fine. It's fine. It's part of my charm, the scatteredness. All right, we're gonna move on to quilting now. So I had my final quilt class on Tuesday. My quilt it's not done, but it is close to done. And I will show you what it looks like. Should I stand up? I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna go over there and show you. Just because it's kind of big. Ta-da! My quilt! Is this all in frame? I'll never know. But yeah, so we have these beautiful birds. We've got flowers. We've got foxes and mushrooms at the bottom. So this is a coin stack quilt. I had so much fun making this. I still need to, I gotta remove all the pins. I've got to weave in my bobbin ends. And I gotta finish the binding. Like the binding, oh, the back is so cute too. I don't know if you can tell, but they're all like little woodland animals. Rabbits and owls, squirrels, foxes. So cute. Yeah. So I have to finish the binding. Let me sit back down. Okay, I'm back. So we're hand stitching this binding. I don't know if this is common with quilts, but girl, it's gonna take a long time. I've done a tiny bit. Tiny bit. I don't really hand sew, so I'm not very fast. Ooh, this needle's coming loose. Dang. Anyway, I've only hand stitched a little bit of the border. The rest is gonna take a while. Our quilting instructor is like, look, I know it takes a while, but it's gonna look a lot better than if you machine sew it. Like you can machine sew it, but you're gonna see the seams. This is gonna be like, it's gonna be nice and clean. Like you can see that. The part that I've hand stitched, it looks great. So I'll do it, but it's gonna take a while. So my goal is just to have this quilt like completely finished by the end of the year. I'm not gonna put a lot of pressure on myself to like rush through it. I'll probably just throw a movie on every once in a while and stitch until that movie's done and then call it a night, because I find hand stitching very tedious. But anyway, that's where I am with that quilt. I'm having so much fun with it. I would love to make another quilt. I think I can, I can only get better from here. It's like what I've learned is sewing straight lines without a guide is difficult. So we've got a couple wavy lines throughout, but you know what? Like, it looks handmade and I love that. And I made it, which is super cool. And I spent like a lot of hours on this thing. So I'm like super duper proud of it. Anyway, that is my quilt. That is it for crafting. We're going to talk about what I have been reading, watching, and playing. So reading, last video, I was telling you all about Fourth Wing. I had started it. I was almost done. I finished it shortly after that video was filmed. And I really enjoyed it. So for those who don't know, Fourth Wing is, who is it by? I should really check to see who this is by so I can like actually give you proper information. So Fourth Wing is by an author named Rebecca Yarros. Here's the cover, Fourth Wing. It is about dragon riders, basically students who go to a war college to train to be dragon riders. Their country's been at war for several hundred years. You can enlist to be a scribe. You can enlist to join the regular army. Or if you want to be a total badass, you could try and be a dragon rider. But the catch is it's an extremely deadly school. Most of the students die. They don't make it to graduation. And when you graduate, you're just enlisted in the war and you're bonded to a dragon. So everyone gets a dragon who makes it through this thing called the threshing that happens in your first year. You bond with a dragon and you will eventually manifest a power gifted to you by that unique bond you have through your dragon, essentially. So the book follows a girl named Violet, whose mother is like the general of the army. Violet wanted to be a scribe. She's got no time for physical activity in her life, but her mom's like, all my children are dragon riders. I'm a dragon rider. You're going to be a dragon rider. So she gets thrown into the college. She desperately needs to survive. There's like a love triangle thing going on with some boy from her past who sucks. I didn't like him from the first page. I saw him, I'm like, nope, not a fan. So yeah, her childhood crush. And then this guy who is the son of some rebel leader who attempted to have like a coup years before and failed miserably. So her mother is the reason this guy's dad is dead, basically, and he hates Violet. But does he hate Violet? Not really. So there's like this sort of romance element going on. There's some very spicy scenes in here, which I appreciated. I like that. It wasn't too spicy. I don't like a novel that's just all explicit scenes. I mean, like, it's just boring. Like, I'm like, give me a story, please. But anyway, I really enjoyed Fourth Wing. I can't wait for the second one to come out in November. I told one of my coworkers to read this and she just finished it as well. So we were talking about it at work. I really liked it. I will say, however, the tone of the book, I thought this was a young adult book when I was reading it. And it is actually not young adult. It's actually being marketed as like a full adult novel. And I feel like, I don't know if that's like a good categorization for it. I think there's an emerging category called new adult for like, when the protagonists are like kind of in their 20s and it still has like young adult themes. I'm not knocking young adult books. I have read young adult. It's not my favorite. I don't even want to call young adult a genre because it's not really a genre, you know what I mean? But if this was like a full adult fantasy romance, I would have expected something like something with a little more depth to the character where they weren't like entirely focused. Like, it felt like all they were talking about was this like relationship. I know that's not all they were talking about, but the way it was brought up and the way Violet was like thinking about things, it just felt very, like, I felt like I was reading about a teenager. And like, she's 20, so 20, you're kind of still like a teenager at that point. So I kind of get it. But yeah, when I picked it up, I was sort of like, not that I was expecting like the 5th season, which is like one of my favorite fantasy novels, but I don't know. There was like a level of complexity to the characters I feel like I was missing for something that I would consider like a full-fledged adult fantasy romance. So anyway, that aside, I did enjoy Fourth Wing overall. I'm definitely going to be reading the sequel. There's a cliffhanger ending that I really enjoyed. So I'm just curious to see where the series is going. Again, I super enjoyed this. I just felt like, I don't know, I just feel like it's sort of weird that it's being like, that they've called it just a full-on adult novel. Usually I expect certain things with that, and I just wasn't getting it from that book. Again, not to say that that made it bad. I just was expecting something a little different. But fully enjoyed it. So if you want to read about dragons and romance, check out Fourth Wing. It's great. Okay, so what am I going to do next? All right, next up, what have I been watching? I haven't even really been watching a lot either. Like I said, my whole schedule's been thrown. I have like so much Flosstube to catch up on. I'm like, I usually keep up with everyone's videos, and like there's like literally like weeks of videos I haven't watched right now because I've been so discombobulated, but that's fine. One movie I did see that I really enjoyed, and it's coming up on spooky season. So if you can find this in your theaters, I don't know if it's still available, but surely it's going to be released to streaming at some point soon. It's called Talk to Me. It's so good. It is a horror. It's released by A24, which is a production company that I follow. Like any of their films, I will take a chance on because I like what they've been putting out. So they do a lot of kind of like indie film. This is an Australian movie. It is about a group of teenagers. I think they're teens. Some of them might be in their early 20s, but they're young. And one of the girls, the main character, she has lost her mother recently and is grieving her. And it's kind of an outcast amongst her friend groups. Like they don't really know what to do with her grief. They think she's kind of weird, whatever. She goes to a house party, and in the basement, they find these kids kind of messing around with something, and she wants to know what it is. And it is this embalmed hand encased in concrete or whatever, or it's in plaster maybe. And they play a game that they film and put on TikTok. And the game is you hold the hand and you say, "Talk to me," and a dead person will appear in front of you. And you say, "I let you in," and you'll be possessed by that dead person for as long as you're holding onto the hand. So they're playing this like possession game, speaking to the dead, essentially. The trick is you're only supposed to hold on to that hand for 90 seconds. And if you hold on for longer than that, they don't really know what's going to happen. But let's just say something terrible happens. Oh no. Anyway, the premise I thought was really interesting. It is creepy, but it's not like, I wouldn't say that this is an absolutely terrifying movie, but it is a lot of fun. Like this is a great Halloween film. It also has a really great sense of humor. I was laughing throughout. It definitely hits a lot of levels. You know, you're laughing, there's very emotional scenes, there's some very creepy scenes. It does it all. So I don't want to talk too much about it other than that, because I would just go into this blind if you can. I had only seen one preview and I couldn't tell if it was going to be good or extremely corny. And they play it off really well, I think. So Talk to Me is something I highly recommend if you're looking for something very spooky for the Halloween season that is just coming up. Because we're in September now, which I find shocking. All right. And finally, what I've been playing, I haven't been playing any new games. I have been watching my friends play Armored Core, which is like a mech game. You're like a robot shooting other robots. It looks chaotic and horrible. I like watching it, but I will never play that. I'm still sticking with Dave the Diver. I'm exploring the ocean. I'm collecting fish. I'm running a restaurant. What more could I want from a game? So Dave the Diver is excellent. Still loving it. Still recommend it for all you people who like, I compared it to Stardew Valley before and Diner Dash, and it definitely has those elements. Like, apparently there's a farming section that's going to open up at some point, someone told me, and I'm like, oh, I love to farm. So that's exciting. But right now I'm, you know, dive into that ocean, collecting new things and serving it up as sushi at my restaurant. But anyway, that's it. That's it for me. I'll see you again in like 3 weeks. I'll be filming, what is that, like September 20th or something around there. And yeah, if you are new here, you liked what you saw, subscribe to the video, like, comment below, let me know what you're working on. And yeah, that's it for me. I hope you all have a great week. Bye.